So, Chris Liepe did a Mudvayne vocal analysis with some tips, and I gotta be honest, that's one of my, they've been my favorite band off and on forever, and man, I gotta say, as someone who has tried to do that for over 15 years, he really nailed a few things. The only thing that I've thought to add so far is he was talking about in his range, he couldn't hit the, it's kind of Chad Gray's signature, I believe. It's the, if you watched a lot of their stuff back in 2005-ish, their End of All Access to All Things DVD was a really good showcase of it, because that was where he kind of honed it, and he used it later in Hell Yeah quite a bit. I don't really have privacy right now, so I'm afraid my nerves won't let me make the sound. Because even as much time as I've put into this, I still have the self-hate artist problem. And so I feel like if someone hears me, then I'm doing them a disservice. You know, I have to work really hard to put myself in karaoke. I can put it on video because someone chooses to watch it, but just as a passerby, it's a problem. But anyway, what I've figured out is if you're trying to get that signature Chad, that sound, number one, that voice, that face structure, the facial expression that I'm making, the mouth shape, all of that, it's very important, because there's a couple of times where I Can't Wait. Sorry, I had to think about it. There are a couple of songs where he goes straight into it, but he kind of messes with it. And in his latest, since they've reunited, he's done this kind of thing that he does. That I don't know exactly why he does that. I don't know what he's shooting for. It's not that it sounds bad. I think it's just because it's really hard for him to keep doing the sustained that stuff. I think that's probably pretty difficult. So the warble stuff, I feel like he probably does that to add a form of intensity or distortion in one way or another. Or I don't know. I mean, sometimes I grab random crap that's laying around me and throw it, or slap it against stuff when I'm singing. So I mean, it's whatever. But anyway, this is almost 4 minutes long, and all I really wanted to tell you was hold your face right. But yeah, that's something that I figured out is to get that sound, focus on the part where he says, "Dig, bury me underneath everything that I yam." Yam! Yam! Sorry. I'm in no space to be doing this right now, but focus on yam! And if you can force yourself, just kind of practice that point right there, and that will kind of bring you forward in that spot that Chris talked about, because he said that his voice won't get there. And I really think, as someone who also is really into Shinedown, Chris Cornell, things like that, I think it's probably just because he doesn't really use that very much, because Cornell and I forget his name, but a lot of singers use that dying cat thing that he talks about that Chris Cornell didn't coin but perfected. And it's not quite the same, like false chord or whatever you call it. I forget the science behind these things, but it's not quite the same technique. And so I can understand how maybe that wouldn't be an easy transition for him. But again, the yow, if you focus on that, use what he said to get to the break point, the friction point, or whatever you want to call it. Don't let yourself get headaches. You're probably doing it wrong. Pay attention to your throat if it's messing with you. You shouldn't, if you've not been doing this for very long, you shouldn't really do it for more than like a half hour. And if you do find yourself getting close to that half hour mark and you're like really hurting, then you need to probably watch this video again. Because it took me a very, very long time to understand the lift, the that is so essential. And I love that he made it obvious by picking up his desk and actually showing you, because when you do that, you're putting that pressure down where it's supposed to be and not here or here. Like it's a wonderful video. And I was so bummed when it popped up and I was at work and I was like, I have to wait to listen to this. But I'm going to watch it several times, and when I'm in a little bit better shape, I will be updating a couple of covers of mine with some techniques that he showed, because he definitely, I wouldn't say like changed the way I look at it, because I've been singing Mudvayne for literally more than half of my life, but I've been kind of trying to take a step back and look at it a little bit differently, and he definitely offered some ways to do that. So another useless ramble from Shetty. Peace, guys.